Two for Tuesday in Big Ten men's basketball. Pair of huge wins for some of the league's best teams. Michigan 85-84 over Wake Forest in overtime. Adai Mara had 18 and 13. Elliot Cadeau 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 dimes for the Wolverines. Illinois improved to 3-0, 81-77 over number 11 Texas Tech. Andrei Stojakovic, 23 points, and the biggest defensive play of the game with this block to close things out. Kylan Boswell added 22 for the Illini. Iowa's off to a terrific start. First year under Ben McCollum, 2-0, victories by 32 and 19 points in their first 2 games. Bennett Stirtz has been as advertised, 21.5 points, 6.5 assists per game. Competition gets a lot tougher on Friday night when Xavier makes its way to Carver Hawkeye Arena. We are thrilled to take you to Iowa City for today's big interview as Ben McCollum joins us. Coach, this is the first time that we've had the chance to connect either virtually or in person. So allow me to start by offering a belated welcome to the Big Ten and to our show today.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on.
Ben, listen, it's a great start. We were just joking a second ago. Everybody loves an undefeated coach, and you're off to a 2-0 start. How is the reality of coaching in Iowa City compared to the expectation you had before your very first game?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to what the expectation was. I don't think it's, I think sometimes obviously there's a different level of pressure, but the beauty of where I came from is, I've been a head coach for 15, 16 years before I got to this level. And so I've had the ability to build my confidence in what we're doing. And so then the noise doesn't bother me as much. So, it's obviously a bigger venue, a lot bigger crowd, all those different things, but it's still like you're walking into a gym and you're just coaching. And it feels very similar to how it has all those years.
And when the ball goes up, you're coaching for 40 minutes. 2 fairly easy wins to start, at least in terms of margin of victory. What has stood out to you, both positive and things that you still feel like your team needs to grow and work on?
Yeah, I thought our energy was really good in the first game. I thought the second one, and part of it was Western Illinois did a good job of kind of taking the life out of the game where they ran the shot clock way down and defensively kind of were there but weren't totally there. So it was a little bit tricky to go against. But we were able to battle that game and didn't play our best and still were able to win the game. And then obviously the first one, like I said, our energy was great. Offensive execution was really good. Still trying to find the right lineups that mix and match together and seeing how we can get consistent with that so that guys have a better rhythm when they go in the game.
Certainly not trying to find a standout star because Bennett Stirtz came with you. Iowa fans, Big Ten fans have gotten to see him now in person. First couple of games, averaging more than 21 and 6 dimes in those 2 games. From your time with him, what makes Bennett special, not just as a player, but as a teammate and as a person?
I guess first as a player, I mean, he's elitely smart. He understands the game. He wants to win, and he'll make any winning play that he needs to make. He wants for his teammates' success as a teammate, meaning, I think a lot of times guys really want for themselves. He understands the value of other people and understands the value of putting them in position to be successful. He's the type that would probably rather have 0 points and everybody else has 10, 12, and you get a win. Like that's just his mentality. Off the floor, as good a kid as there is. He's very disciplined, works hard, all those things. So he's a better kid than he is player, and he's a really good player.
He's also a minutes eater. He did it in his previous stop, 76 out of 80 minutes so far in these first 2 games. I know we're only 2 games in, but what's the thought process on a guy like that never really wants to come off the floor as you get ready for competition to ramp up, including the start of Big Ten play?
Yeah, I don't know. I think right now it's fine. He enjoys playing the whole game, and he enjoys the competition, all those things. He doesn't seem to get real tired. Part of it is playing himself into shape in those real game environments. I can't say that he's going to play the full 40 in the Big Ten because I haven't played a Big Ten schedule yet. So, I think looking at it right now, that would be, the plan. But it doesn't mean that the plan can't change. It's just, I've always thought when you're 22 years old that you should have the ability to play pretty consistently throughout an entire game. And I think his hardest thing when Big Ten play comes around is the emotions of being ready at that high level and being the guy that everybody's paying attention to every single game. That's going to be the hardest part.
Ben, you mentioned the search for chemistry. It can truly be elusive in this day and age of college basketball with a lot of transfers, and obviously you being a first-year coach, though history with some of those transfers this year. I was impressed by Alvaro Falgueira, certainly in that first game against his old school Robert Morris and his skill set. What do you hope he's able to provide for your team throughout the course of the year?
Yeah, he's gotten exponentially better since he's been here. I mean, it's just from where he started to where he is now, and just at this level, there's like certain winning habits that you absolutely have to have that you can't get away with, even at the mid-major, Division II, low-major level. And he has done a great job of embracing that, done a great job of fighting in practice. And then, once those games roll around, he's got a little bit of gamer to him. So he's kind of, I love great practices, but then when the game rolls around, it's like he kind of flips a switch a little bit. And he's a little bit better in games than he is in practice, which is rare to see. So hopefully he keeps coming along because we'll need him to be that kind of secondary threat.
As you look at some other players on your roster, whether we're talking about Koch or Maniau, and you could go down the list of guys who have seen pretty significant minutes already in the first couple of games, how much will depth need to be a strength for you guys as you get into the meat of the schedule?
Yeah, I think having the ability to play different guys if guys aren't ready to go is probably the biggest benefit to depth. I think sometimes when you have a lot of depth, it means there's not a lot of separation. And sometimes that's not a good thing because your top end guys aren't separating themselves from the others. And so, I think we've got 10 and even 11 guys that I feel pretty confident in that can play. You just have to be able to kind of whittle that down to a certain level so that guys have a rhythm and they can play. But those 10, 11 guys need to be able to play in case you need that extra body, somebody gets in foul trouble, somebody gets injured, et cetera, et cetera. So, I feel good about our depth. I feel good about the amount of bodies that we have. I want to see some more separation from our top guys.
Interesting take on that, and I'm interested to get your take on the comparison between tempo and scoring. A lot of folks believe if you're going to be a defensive-minded team and you like to slow the tempo down a little bit, it means that you're a low-scoring team. We've seen that not necessarily be the case. Wisconsin a couple of years ago, in terms of possessions, was towards the bottom of the nation, but points per possession were toward the top. So where's the sweet spot for you and this team in terms of defensive focus, tempo, but also offensive efficiency at the same time?
Yeah, so we're probably more efficient than we are anything, and we'll play at the speed of our point guard or the speed of what the game dictates. So maybe at home you play a little faster, on the road you might play a little slower. Not totally sure yet because we haven't been through the Big Ten yet. But I think that as long as you can maintain your efficiency, your points per possession, similar to our teams at Northwest where we'd average 82, 83 points a game pretty consistently. And we weren't extremely fast, but we were able to score consistently because our possessions mattered and we didn't just run down and shoot shots. I will say this year, there's two tempo numbers that I'm still trying to figure out. There's your raw tempo, which is like the actual tempo itself, the possessions that you have, which we're kind of in the middle of the pack in the country. I think it was like 70.6 or something like that. And then there's the KenPom numbers, which are drastically lower, which take into account a variety of different things that I don't understand. So our actual tempo is actually pretty good. Middle of the pack is probably where you want to be.
Ben, I got to tell you, with all these metrics these days, there's so many things out there I don't understand. Before we got started, though, we had to go tech with you, and you figured out Zoom weird stuff going on to make sure this worked out. Are you a tech guy? Are you a hard numbers guy, or do you let others do that stuff for you?
Not a numbers guy. I'm not an analytics guy, ironically, and our analytics offensively have always been off the charts. And I am not tech savvy. That was just complete and total luck that I figured out the Zoom thing. But I can figure out Zoom a little bit because you have to do it with recruits. So
Yep.
I kind of have an idea there that we gotta, we gotta work fast. And there's a little pressure. I felt a little pressure from you as well. So I had to make sure I did it.
Well, I got to tell you, you have lived up to the pressure, not just coaching in Iowa City the first couple games, but here in the interview as well. Let's get you out of here, Ben, as we look ahead. You have Xavier on Friday, and this starts a stretch, and there's not a lot of teams that have this coming up over the next month. You have 5 power opponents over the next month. It's Xavier, it's Ole Miss, it's 2 games in the Big Ten that include a road trip to Michigan State, and of course the all-important Cy-Hawk game. What do you think you'll know about your team when that stretch is over in about 4 weeks' time?
Quite a bit, I think. I'm curious to see. I'm excited for the competition, though. I think those Power 5 competition can kind of make you better, and you can figure out exactly what you need to be able to work on. And we like a tougher schedule. I think that some of the schedule was already done for us once we got here, and then some of it we scheduled on our own. But even our, I guess you'd call them bye games, are pretty good games. Like they're good opponents, and so we're going to have our hands full these next 3-4 weeks, and I'm excited for it though. I'm excited to compete and excited to see what we can do.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that Friday game against Xavier inside Carver. Hawkeye, as Ben McCollum and I will look to start 3-0. Coach, great to meet you. Appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me on.